Jack Hughes. I'm with the Burlington Youth Soccer Club. Answer the twofold question on match officials. I've been involved with and very supportive of the OSA over the last number of years for the work that we've done on helping develop match officials. We worked together. We produced a number of hundreds of pieces of paper on both sides in order to try and come up with something for match officials. And things have started to drift down, right, which is great. My question or my concern is the districts. The districts have not been involved in this process from what I can see, and the district is where we have our day-to-day conversations, it's where we have our relationships. Should the districts not be better involved in the development of match officials across the province?
Okay, good question. We've had this discussion at the board meeting around match officials, and again, we talk about new structures. To Don's earlier point, it's about people. So to respond to your question, Jack, my comment would be is that needs to occur now. It should be occurring all the time, irregardless of structure. And there is a gap. There is a communication gap there. Then we need to close it. So I rely on my fellow peer group here to continue making sure that those are brought forward. One thing I want to reinforce is they have a direct pipeline with Johnny's office. This was the whole idea over the last 2.5 years of separating operations from what I'll call strategy or policy of the board, and it made it very clear to the board that each and every one of the district presidents, each and every one of the district administrators has a direct communication line with Johnny and or Johnny's senior staff, and as such, Jack, we just need to leverage and take advantage of that. Again, I think it's just a matter of more thorough or maybe more complete communication down the road. You are right though, match officials, I hear many times people speak of match officials as the lost component of our game. They don't feel they're receiving the recognition a lot of times that they should be receiving. So again, I think we can build on that. Sorry? Paysuck, okay. Yes, John has a response?
Jack, you brought up a subject that's very close to my heart, so I'm glad somebody brought it up. Johnny already knows my expressions on this. I will say to Johnny and his staff, they are putting something together to try and improve it. This is an area that needs mass improvement. I will candidly say I believe there's a disconnect between the OSA district and club when it comes to officiating. So, great point. It needs tons of work, but in credit to Johnny, I will say his department is working on it. I had a meeting maybe a month and a half ago with them. Bill Williams had a meeting with them. So as districts, it is close to our hearts. Ian's son is a match official. So, and we're also dealing with a situation with high school, secondary school officiating that requires some work. So there is a lot of attention being put to it. And I'm glad you brought it up because it is important. And I think collectively all of us, not the clubs, I'm talking about the administrators of the game, we need to do a better job when it comes to the development of officials, how we retain them, how we train them, how do we recruit them, because we have 4,500 games in Hamilton with 189 officials in a 16-week period, and we're wondering why we don't have some officials some nights. So, and some of those officials are over 65 years old. Quite a few of them are.
So just to add to what, sorry, go ahead, Willow.
I was just going to say we had a meeting with Johnny, Gary Miller, the referee department. I would class it as a reset meeting. It was clear there that the referee department was unaware of the programs that we've been running at Peel Halton for a number of years, although they had attended meetings in the past. We certainly were unaware of projects that Nikki and her team have been developing but haven't brought forward to us to let us know. One of the things that constantly comes up at the board when we get a chance to sneak in our district hats is the fact that there is no offsetting monies from the OSA to the districts to help support referee development programs. There's no materials, there's nothing that goes that way. So we've been pressing that issue, and as I say, about a month and a half ago we had a what I would class as a reset meeting, and we're hopeful that we're going to see some actual fruit come out of that.
As well, most of that match officials, I'm glad to hear all of these things are happening, and that's why I brought it up, because the club head referees don't seem to get involved with the districts who've been involved with the OSA, so there's a disconnect. We have to get together. Last thing is the brand new laws of the game. The new laws of the game will be coming up shortly. They've been in Europe for almost a year now, and we're going to finally get them. And I know that we're going to be taking an instructor's course in January, but what has the OSA put forward? We have tens of thousands of match officials in Ontario that will have to be instructed in the new laws of the game. What's being put forward by the OSA to make sure that these match officials are ready for next summer?
Okay. Sorry, I'll be honest, I cannot answer that question because I don't work directly in the areas of match official development, but I can take the inquiry back to Nikki Pearson, who can get us an answer for that. Not a problem at all. But I'll be honest, I don't know where we are in that timeline. I just want to make a comment, though, about what John and William said. What's impressed me is, as committees, working committees, volunteers, and even Nikki Pearson, our manager of match officials, the staff, along with John and Lyndon in that office, they are very, very committed people to match officials development. I'm amazed listening to some of our committee meetings that we have, the amount of time and effort these volunteers put into these committees. But you're exactly right, John and William. There's a bit of a disconnect between the OSA and the district, because some districts are doing some fantastic stuff that's supplemental and supporting the development of officials. One thing I do want to mention to you, though, is that we've talked about this word LTPD, long-term player development, P being for player. What the Match Officials Development Committee has worked on in the last 8 to 9 months is a long-term officials program, so long LTOD, to mirror what LTPD and the principles of that. How can we do that for match officials? Because we're getting more kids playing the game, we're getting standards-based leagues more and more, and now going to start to get into the regional leagues down the road in the future. And the expectations and the need for quality officials, the demand is going to go up and up and up, let alone at the grassroots level, just to have pure recreational soccer games officiated by these young match officials. So the part of the LTOD is part of a recruitment campaign as well as a development campaign at all the levels. And that's something that we just recently put in for significant dollars from Trillium, and we just found out last Friday it was unsuccessful. So our 2-year plan has now become a 5-year plan to be funded by the OSA, but we're still going to go back to Trillium for more money because it would have been an innovative project that's not been done in any kind of officiating sport at all across the country. And we're not giving up on it yet. So we're working hard at it, and we're going to hopefully be better at communicating those. So thank you.
Johnny, I just wanted to mention, you had mentioned to me that there's a number of surveys being done by the referee development department as well.
Correct. Part of the building of the LTOD, long-term officiating development, is the Match Officials Development Office spent a good part of the last year and a half surveying active officials, some of those ones that are dusty, older, the word like dust, right? Dusty, older, and a lot of the younger officials and that are active. And the survey also included specifically officials that left the game. They tried it and left within 2 or 3 years, and to find out why. And it's interesting, the results of those surveys. So these are pieces that were used to help build this long-term officials development initiative that we're working on now.
And those are the types of issues that have come up at the CSA President's Forum, whereby we're looking at player retention, we're looking at match official retention, and coaching retention. So it just gives you an example that if you can start doing things in sort of incremental steps, everybody can build. It's like a building block at the end of the day. To your point, Jack, we had a huge presentation at one of our CSA President Forums meetings where we spent a good 2 to 3 hours just talking about match official development.